Hi, everyone. Welcome to our DEI Commission Tuesday, November 18th meeting. Welcome to the community that has joined us both online, and thank you for members of the community who joined us here in person. So first, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And so let's do roll call. Rose Pratley here.
Andrea Ponserrada here.
Joe Palumbo here.
Agnes Vega-Carusa here.
Brian Farber here.
My two feathers here. I didn't want my back zippy. Thank
Great. So next I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of our October 24th, 2025 minutes. Any comments, questions, or can we move to approval?
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
you.
Great. So then we can move to chairs updates. And then I do want to jump in, or should I?
Yeah, you could start.
Okay, so most recently, since our last commission meeting, we both had the opportunity to meet with school leadership. And I see that our liaison has also joined us for our meeting. Thank you, Megan, for being here. So we had our school leadership meeting with Lori and our school committee liaison, Andrew Yamacha, and Tracy Morano. And this is part of our ongoing cadence of meetings that we scheduled for this fall. Our next one will be December 8th, I believe. And I think, if you mind just running through some of the highlights.
Sure. So we had hygiene. So we have agreed and to promote each other's cultural events and other initiatives through our own, channels, through each other's channels. So that's ongoing, and that started a couple of months ago. Specifically, we will also, so that's actually something that we wanted to bring to the table. We want to create and publish an events calendar, because we usually run through the events we're planning in the meeting agendas and minutes, but we don't actually have it published for everyone to know what's happening and plan in advance. And we have received a lot of feedback about being a little bit more disciplined, I guess, about publishing our meeting dates and documents. And so this is one, I want to say that we listened very carefully to all that feedback. And this is one of the efforts we want to do. So that's coming up, like publishing the events calendar on our website, so the public can expect that happening soon. And also all the events we've been invited to co-sponsor or to participate in, those are going to be there as well. So that's one item. We also discussed the youth advisory engagement. I'm going to call it engagement for now until it has, an actual design or mechanism, and agreed on design and mechanism. But so we're having these conversations with the schools, and we're coming up with, eligibility criteria soon. And we hope we can have, more updates on that in our upcoming meeting. Brian, is there anything you wanted to add about that one item?
The youth advisory?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just I think I've mentioned in the past, I think just making sure that we are cognizant of what was discussed last time about our volunteer roles here on this commission, and what our capacity is, because I know we have a big appetite for a lot of things coming up in calendar year 2026 and at the end of this year. So, it's always my concern when you take on something big and overpromise, underdeliver, or can't maintain it, that we really step into this with eyes wide open about maybe it's getting a delegate to participate on behalf of students here at our commission, rather than engaging in creating a full, secondary group. But hopefully good conversation. I think it's generally a good idea.
You mean like having more reps, more like different populations of people represented on the DEI commission?
Well, I think the basis of, well, like, Andrea, if you want to discuss what the youth advisory, because it was discussed briefly last week.
Do you remember we had a youth at the very beginning?
Yeah.
We've been discussing the possibility of doing that again and in what format. So we've been discussing this with schools, not only the school district, but also private schools. And just trying to come up with a mechanism that is friendly for the, like the best possible way for the youth to participate and bring their voices, concerns, ideas on the DEI related events and activities in town. And not only events and activities, but really just, everything. So that's how it started. And it's
Right.
really not
It
yet.
hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened. We're still getting feedback. And on, just building on what Brian said, we have to find a way that it can be done and that it's actually gonna happen, that somebody has to take it on, and having that not be so hard to just, and how we're gonna support the youth, because we don't wanna strain them either, basically, that's.
Because I'm very interested in that, because in my other world, in the radio control world, I'm working with the next generation of girls and boys, coming up as radio control pilots and working with robots and things like that. And so I look at it as a parallel. How do we integrate that next generation in the first place? And now some of that generation is actually now they're come of age and they're not just kids anymore. So I want to think on that more, because that worked really well, and I see that with similar concept that we would like to promote here, because that would be education, the younger people coming up and get educated about DEI issues as a student, and then be able to reflect that back in their lives in the moment. The space that their generation is going through.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it as I get older, I'm a different generation from most of you all here, and I have a completely different take on it. Only because I was at West Potomac People's Park, when we were protesting against the Vietnam War, and there's a whole different thing. And now I remember how we worked really hard on getting the younger people close in, and I think we need to do that here.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're in charge. All in favor?
Jimmy,
I would be happy to work with it, because I've always have done really well with younger generation.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's really good to know.
yes.
And Jimmy, is that something you're interested in leading?
No, well, I would like to work on it collaborative, and one of the ways of being was like to find a younger person to actually work with to begin with, because even from the day one, when we start crafting this, it's really important to have that other perspective in the creation.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson too. We know how to do this, but now we can teach people how they can start in an earlier age to be an activist, or to open up and understand how the world works, instead of coming to it as an adult.
Okay. I just wanted to add that it would be, I think, good to identify a couple of people so that they can rotate. Because it can be cumbersome to rely on just one youth, especially when they have school and exams come as, different schedules, after school activities, whatever. Yeah, but maybe to have 2 or 3 so that they can rotate through the meetings. And if they all decide to attend.
And that's a good point. With the young pilots, radio control people, everything's usually done on the weekends. So incorporating the youth there is an automatic, we know, but I see this as being a little different. It wouldn't be just a weekend event. It could be during the week, during school.
Or do you want to go? Yeah, once, or unless there's anything else to add to that particular matter?
I don't think so. No.
Well,
Not to that one.
as it relates to the updates from the school meeting.
Oh, no, I think that's it.
Okay, so then, do you have an update on our meeting with Mark today?
Yes, so we met with our new liaison from the select board, Mark, who used to be our liaison before, so we
Oh,
worked
Mark's
with
back?
him. Yes, we've worked with him before, and so we met with him and put together a first draft. I don't want to call it a work plan yet because it needs everybody's input. But thinking about a specific budget and that we need to be able to execute and operate all the initiatives that we're planning and thinking of. He asked us to put something together so we can consider it. Or the town can consider it. So we did. And basically, we divided in two categories. One we called the DI foundational and systemic prioritization activities, which means we've been doing them for 3 or 4 years, and they're kind of like an annual thing that we don't want to live without, that have already been significantly symbolic to the, to push and move the broader DEI agenda forward. And then new ones that, and also I think community-based ones, the community has asked us to participate in different events, activities and other things. And some of them have become actual like annual things that we do. But basically we went through all those activities and what we want to discuss with you is who is interested. We need, all of us to participate or sponsor one of them or lead one of them. I think leading it is a better word. Because if it doesn't have that push, then it's not gonna happen. Even if it's there, no, I think we've seen that in the past. Do you wanna go over a specific thing?
I think so,
Christine.
just so we could start seeding and people can be aware about what they are, and then if we can get some initial round of interest,
Okay.
so we could start moving
Yeah.
on some of these items, that would be helpful.
And these just, we've been working on it like all morning, so we weren't able to share this prior to the meeting, but we will. So the first one is the DEI Commission Concord Safe Awareness Operation Activities. And these have to do with how that actual, form is gonna operate and who's gonna respond to it. It's still a little bit more logistical or mechanical and the cost of it. Do you wanna talk a little bit about it?
It's in our agenda a little bit later.
Yeah, okay. The second one is related to the Concord Safe initiative. And basically, and this is also in response to a lot of requests and invitations that we've had from other town organizations. And it is hosting, supporting, or sponsoring, or co-sponsoring ongoing Concord Safe education, including school-based programs, interfaith dialogues, public forums on anti-Semitism, racism, and LGBTQ plus, rights. Among some of them that, we've been invited to co-sponsor or that we, as a commission, have initiated ourselves. So, so that would be the second one, and I think it's closely related to the first one, no, the response mechanism. The third one would be organizing or supporting, supporting the town or the select board, putting together a mandated annual diversity and inclusion, anti-bias, anti-hate training for public officials and town employees. This is in a way an imposition on the town, but it's a response, no? The town has also expressed, we need to, have training.
What's the group in town that did the bystander training?
That was the Human Rights Council, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they had contracted with somebody to do it.
No, but I mean, it was the human rights.
They're the ones
Mhm.
that let it
Yeah.
So that's, so I think that we should be working with them.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Mhm. We included in this list the DEI Commission Community Coffee. These have been organized at no cost to the DEI because they have been sponsored by the police so far. Right, girls, but they're included in, like our activities that are gonna stay. And then we also have the Town of Concord DEI Commission Local Election Candidates Community Forum. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure, we had our first one last year. This is something we hope to do annually. To specifically have a forum where we can engage with candidates related to matters related to DEI specifically. Looking back at last year's forum, I think it was incredibly powerful and insightful. I think we got a lot of positive feedback from the forum last year. It was our first, and it's something we hope to continue moving forward. So we can get more engagement and really engage a cross section of our community.
The next one would be Concord Pride or the Pride Fest. I think because of its impact. And this has been, I think, is it the second year?
This will be third, yeah.
It's the third. Yeah, so Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about this one and the Juneteenth Day celebration? These two are included in the program.
Concord Pride, this will be the third year, and the first year, really, the DEI commission had we had a subcommittee, they pushed the whole thing. Last year, really, it became an independent group of just people in town who kind of on their own doing it, and they ask us for help when it comes time to navigate town permitting and whatnot. And so this year, we just had the first meeting the other night, and it's again, a very large group of either both some families and then also institutions, whether it's the library or churches. So we'll play a part in it, and I'm happy to be the rep from DEI to play a part in it, but we definitely don't have to feel like we're in charge of it. Because we were kind of like the catalyst the first year, and now they're sort of off on their own. Feels like we just might need to help them navigate some town, forms and whatnot.
And I think that's similar for India Day, Diwali, Holi. I think that, we're continuing to build some really good partnerships in town for it to really mobilize. Since our last meeting, there was a really successful Diwali celebration at Concord Carlisle High School that the South Asian Student Society put on. They did a really wonderful job. They put a lot of heart and effort and time into it. So I would love to see that coalition building and that community building continue around a range of these initiatives.
To me, that's a good example of what the DEI commission should do is we help kind of break the ground for something that has been done before. And then if it's something the community wants to continue, they take it on. So, and I think that Juneteenth is still sort of
In the process.
I mean, we've done it 3 years and 3 years is a habit. So, but they'll still need to be we're getting a lot of, so much support from the town on that one. Eventually I can see that someday being in the public ceremonies and that committee's list of activities, but we're just not there yet as a town.
And also a lot of community groups look to the impact, as I would say, with Pride and just the widespread community activities. For that month and leading up to it, it has really become a community-wide celebration. And so similarly, as other initiatives and activities come on, we'd love to broaden and build and really kind of raise awareness around the wonderful activities. I know the library is always a really great partner, the Umbrella, there's always wonderful community organizations that are really rising up to help partner with us. So I think the more we can actually, and that's why I really like the idea of a calendar or having a one place you can kind of be aware of everything. And both as commission members, we can, sign on to be president and also engage with other members of the community as well.
There's a question from.
Wait.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for public comment.
So just going back to the DEI Commission Concord Safe and how that's gonna operate, I guess you're gonna lead it, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then the second item, which was how we support education around hate incidents and prevention. I think I'm not sure that one needs somebody to lead it because that's just us responding. And if we do want to organize one, then one of us will lead that initiative to organize a specific event. But just the hosting, supporting, co-sponsoring, I think it's an ongoing thing that doesn't, that just, it's very organic to the co-chairs. And with your help, Magnolia, we've managed to participate in those events without much effort. So I don't think that one needs anybody to lead it specifically. And then the mandated annual diversity and inclusion training. I would be happy to do that.
Right.
What you do.
Right, Brian, Andrea, on for that. So.
Yeah, okay. The next one would be the Town of Concord Hanukkah celebration. This is a town hosted celebration of Hanukkah. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, right now there's one that's largely managed through the tourism department. They have a few $1,000s at the towards it. It's a relatively small amount of money. There's Karen Shalom's involved in and other groups. It's 1 hour right now at the Harvey Wheeler Center. I know that there's a strong feeling that it should be moved to a little bit more of a prominent space. During the application of the Concord Carlisle Against Anti-Semitism grant, again, thank you to this commission and Rose for helping to get those pieces set up. There was a desire to have a commissioned menorah. The CCAA, with the funding that it received, would put some of that funding, and hopefully there'll be some funding from the town and others who might want to contribute to actually getting one commissioned for the town, and that would be in the center. So the idea is to at some point move it to a more central location. So for next year, yes, would love to support that. I think this year is sort of baked.
And also, I think it would be important context for the commission, because I mean, commission members may know that we did approve the purchase of a menorah several months ago, but it would be good for them to have feedback on on that process.
Oh, there was a permission?
Yeah, so just as a little history, the Beth Williams and the tourism department really, working with colleagues in town, really led the Hanukkah celebrations for the last several years, and they were borrowing the menorah, I believe, from Kerem Shalom. And then last year, she came to the DEI
Oh, yeah.
in the fall and asked us to approve out of the budget so the town could own one. So the town owns one now. May not be what eventually the community will want over time. They might want something better, but we own one because the DEI commission supported it last.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know. Did they order it on Amazon, I think, or something?
It's free.
Yeah.
It's whatever
We have no
get
idea.
it for.
Yeah, the CCAA, and not to belabor it, not to take over the conversation here, although, I'm always
You can take over. It's okay.
happy to do that. I'll lead this. The idea was to commission the same people who did the lantern, so for the 250, so that it would be match the style and the feel of the community, reflect our community.
Nice.
So we have to still see
In a
about
year to get it made, in other words.
that.
Not quite,
Yeah.
but right, it's before
It
the
was-
spring, right?
There was no commitment made. We have to figure out the rules now that
Well, you may not know this answer to this question. Will the grant that was received through the town, will you be able to use some of those funds to commission this menorah? If that's what
that's what some of our budget is hopefully for. Yeah,
Excellent.
that's our hope.
Okay.
We still have not, we're expecting to receive the funds at the end of this month,
Yeah.
next week or so. And so we still have to sit down and figure out exactly the strategy, rules for the road. But
And it's a nice combination of this, again, a good way the DI commission operates. Concord Against Anti-Semitism is an outside group of institute community members. They had nowhere to place that grant. So through the DI commission, working with the town, now the town's the funding organization for that. And it's a good collaboration between folks in the community. Using the structure of the town to help get things done.
yeah, the fiscal sponsorship,
This goes.
again, Rose, over the summer, we were like, we've got 3 days to do this. Everyone said, we don't think we could do it. Rose was like, we could do it. I was like, we could do it. But anyway, it really makes things easy, and it should be an encouraging thing for other groups that have an interest, as long as they're organized, can get funding. The town was, if there's a larger need, community, it seems like the town is willing to support.
Yeah,
this.
absolutely.
I think, I think a lot of what we've seen when it happen is maintaining the value of trust and relationships. Like, we were delighted to partner with you, Brian. We're so glad we were able to make it happen. We're glad we were able to kind of move things along, even when a lot of doors were shut in our faces, saying that it wasn't possible. I'm just delighted that we could, help
Yeah.
in any manner.
It
So,
was great.
so similarly, as we think about like vision for possibilities in our community, I think the value of trust and relationship go a long way. Yeah. Thank you.
Would you want somebody to help you with that initiative, the celebration?
For next year,
Yeah,
I think we have a little time to plan for
Yeah.
that, but I think there are some folks in the town who are really committed to it. So before enlisting a lot of people here,
Right.
I think there are a lot of people who really want to see something like that move
Okay.
forward in a different way.
so the next one, we didn't really discuss, we did include it in our last commission meeting agenda, but we postponed it to this one, is community webinar series. I would like to propose a 12-month webinar series to foster ongoing learning and dialogue and community engagement around DEI principles. This would be a webinar, so online, an hour long, to make it very digestible and very accessible for any community member to just join it. And with just inviting expert facilitators, educators, and I think that catalog of themes or can respond to what the community, like the town, needs at that time. So I can do that. I would like to lead that, and I know Magnolia has been helping me just like think about who to invite and putting an agenda together. We were gonna do it. Okay, so the next one that we discussed with Mark is the DI commission office hours, just to provide a resource or support to town organizations. Just regarding just provide practical ongoing support to boards, committees, and community organizations as a dedicated resource to help strengthen, collaboration regarding that. This is not very well cooked yet, and we're hoping to co-design it with the town manager. She did ask us for a proposal. We haven't sent it to her, but it's an item that is still there, and since we still don't, we don't have a full-time DI director, this is sort of like an alternative, or at the beginning of that alternative, because I think it can start very slowly, with a limited number of hours, and just increase it as, depending on the town's needs. Honestly, it would be just, I guess, we can just adjust it, and if we see that they're not needed at all, then, then we can just not do them. But we have gotten requests and like consultations and questions, and I think, an expert, having that expert advice or resource would only just, align with the town's values and what we're trying to do.
I think clarifying who would be running those office hours, because I think
Yeah.
speaking to Brian,
Yeah.
what you said about like limited time and capacity, and obviously being a volunteer body, just clarifying who would be running those office hours in this current proposed plan.
I think, we're still in discussion of that. I'm hoping that like a third party, the DI consultant, not us.
Oh, not us. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Unless, one of us wants to take that on. But,
Or can it be open, the DI consultant, plus whoever is available can join as well, or invited at least. Maybe ideally have at least one or two. Depends on the frequency of this or office hour. If it's once a month, might be manageable among 9 of us, right? Maybe each time, in addition to the DI consultant,
Right.
Yeah.
2 of us are there. So we have, because we know that conversation has been going on among us. And that, consultants being an expert in that field. So I think it's been.
maybe, I think maybe we can start that way. I think that's a
Yeah.
great proposal, we
Mhm.
could do like a Calendly,
Yeah,
you know, like.
right,
link,
yeah.
And we could all add our availability, and then if there's a community member who wants to meet with us,
Yeah.
and if that one person needs help, then. And by that person, I mean
Mhm.
one of the commission members,
Mhm.
then that commission member can say, I need to like make a
Would
more
that be
serious.
physical, or would that be where
Right. but-
somebody's on the phone or monitoring a
Right.
number?
Right.
What are the mechanics of it, you know?
Right.
Needs to be figured out, I
To be,
guess.
yeah, to be.
You know, office hours, is it gonna be a virtual office or a real office or something in between?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know we've, some of us have met with community members who have wanted to discuss certain things or
Yeah.
events, and you've gone to coffees and have met with people, so maybe it can be a mix. Like, we could do, you know, like either Zoom, just that possibility, or is it actual coffee or in person? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Or it could be a combination, and some of it could be on call, like there's a time, or here's a person you connect with, and then make an arrangement for a time for a meeting, and then we don't have to, we can have office hours, but they're as needed,
Mhm.
instead of somebody just sitting at a certain time, as we can't control that.
Yeah.
Just to make it more available, okay. Your calendar or the schedule at this time, oh, you have a DEI issue? Or this is who you can contact with to start. It might not even be that person that they work with, but then can get referred to somebody.
Yeah.
So it can't be just office hours, it can be more flexible.
So am I hearing that, the commission as a whole might want to participate in that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can eat, like,
we can make a
I'd like a little
schedule
more.
and have people sign up. For those are based on what your schedule is.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Can you just elucidate a little bit more the outcomes that are expected for this? What is the purpose of someone saying, I'd like to sit down in an office hour to do what? That's not at the coffee hours where we could sit on the side and have a one-on-one. Or
No.
as Jimmy said,
so needs vary a lot, I think,
I think it's both.
or have varied.
So what I will say is that for a town that does not have a full-time DEI resource,
Mhm.
for the entire community, that DEI email or the DEI commission serves to be any question, inquiry, concern, or otherwise related to DEI. And as a limited volunteer body
Mm.
with limited capacity, we need to grow that resource. And so whether it's consultation on an existing commission and their charge and how it might need updating with a DEI lens to a matter related to in the community, or someone, perhaps an incident that has occurred in the community, or consultation on how an organization might be treated at another town body. There is a range of matters that come before the commission, or the commission is contacted on a daily basis. And so, recognizing that we don't even receive those emails directly initially, and that we don't have access to that email on an ongoing basis. You know, we're trying to find solutions to both be responsive to the needs of the community and all of the commissions and bodies, and also get some regular access to a DEI expert, who will have designated time and the community can access in order to engage in whatever DEI matter that they might need. So I would say the needs feel extensive, but also are pervasive in terms of what, you know, how it will be used by any given entity or any given individual. And so that's why we had proposed, if we had designated office hours where a DEI consultant or expert could be designated, understanding that certainly Andrea and I can't come to every single one. It's hard for us to be at the same place at the same time to begin with. But similarly, like, I think it would be great if, you know, DEI commission members would also like to be present, but it's also, I mean, we can give the example of, like, we got an email inquiry recently. It took a while to coordinate a time for Agnes and Joe, or really any two commission members to meet with a member of the public. That took a lot of time and effort and coordination. You guys can speak to that directly in terms of how, like, just scheduling and kind of. So we think that by having these kind of pre-scheduled times on the calendar, that like, this is when you know you can access someone, as opposed to like, all of us have challenges with the calendar dance. We know the struggles that this commission has with just like finding a date and to ensure we can get a quorum. So keeping in mind all of those matters, that's why we were leaning in this direction and we're hoping to get it resourced.
Great approach. It's a window for us to get connected with the community. It's great.
And, you know, the coffees will be, they're more of an informal setting for the community to engage with us, engage with, you know, leaders in our community, engage with the police, engage with the town leadership, engage on a much more informal level. And we still want to continue to hold those on a quarterly basis. But this is really, you know, this is more like direct consultation and expertise access on a very specific matter. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so the next one that we discussed is accessible town communications. Providing basically town communications in different languages. I think this was very welcomed and reasonably easy to execute with AI. That's just also, I think this has to be done, of course, in collaboration with the town and possibly with the, you know, communications manager. So this is something that would mainly be executed by the town, not us, but we can provide that support or ideas and just, you know, help in any way.
I also just want to highlight and also give a shout out to CCHS and their South Asian Student Society for their most recent, and actually they took it upon themselves and actually looked at the composition of South Asian representation within the South Asian Student Society and provided flyers in unique language access for Diwali, and it was beautiful. And actually, I had an elder approach me in community this last week, and they said, "I've been living here for nearly 5 decades, and it's the first time I've received something in my language in this community." And it was just so heartening, you know, to hear those kind of experiences. And I just feel like if we can be more intentional, I mean, any which way we could be more intentional, and also, and the kids just did it based on representation that they were aware of, and that they had, and then, and you can share that with the commission. But I thought it was really beautiful, and I think if we could be more intentional in collaboration with the town.
Who did this?
The South Asian Student Society.
Oh, that's.
It was the youth, the students at CCHS that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful the students did that. I don't know where the town or the school district is in offering things in varied languages, but it was sort of shocking to come to the community and see that we don't translate anything
Well, yeah.
on a regular basis. I mean, town of Amherst, I don't know how good it is, but you can just go to the town website and choose your language and the whole webpage, like.
DEI
Oh,
commission
yeah.
webpage is like,
Yeah.
it has a Google Translate
Yeah,
activated.
good. And I mean, many districts I worked in, you just had a translator. You would never have a meeting with families without offering translation, or certainly you would never pass out a flyer without offering translation. So hopefully we'll get there. I don't know what we can do.
And the commission has officially made inquiries to the town to understand what kind of language access resources are available, including by way of personnel on the town level who are multilingual. And that data has from the town perspective, when we contacted the town manager's office, they said that they've never assessed or actually gathered data.
We did in our survey.
In your survey.
Yeah.
So Magnolia, do you mean the DEI page, you can choose to have it translated? Is that
Yeah.
all town pages or just ours?
No, we're working on that one. We started with HR,
Okay.
recreations like that too.
That's
Oh, so you're working on it. So the
Website.
town is working on that.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Can I say something about this? Hello, my name is Yvette Fan. I'm the president
Can you
of
hold on to
the,
public comment event? Sorry, we'll
What's
get
that?
you a public comment, we promise.
not yet?
Hold
Yeah,
on
not
a
yet,
second.
don't worry, we won't
Oh,
forget
okay.
you.
All right, okay, later
Thank
then.
you.
Mhm.
Yep,
You know, there's the Google Translate, the select language
Yeah.
activated on
Excellent.
the webpage too. But not all departments have that one, or because the web pages are by departments and department admins take care of that one. So I can only do so much.
Yeah.
webpage is not there.
Meeting with the town.
But we do
manager,
have-
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And we are in the process of a redesign, so that will be one of those things that.
I only have three more. I'm gonna try to run a little faster. So we have mental health and support services as the next item. And this is mostly in support of the town-wide incident reporting system that is being put together by the task force. We would like to look forward and expand trauma-informed mental health support and also make sure we fund culturally competent counseling services, prioritizing care for historically marginalized populations. Do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so actually, so just to piggyback on my earlier comment, when we made an official inquiry into the town about what is a possible by way of language access and support services, particularly as it relates to social services for the town, it was clear that there are pretty serious limitations, and so we really believe that this is a major priority for investment, both for as a public health matter as well as a public safety matter, to be able to provide resources for intergenerationally for our community. So this is something we definitely want as a systemic prioritization and foundation for our ongoing DEI work.
So I had a question of why mental health would be part of this.
Why mental
Are
health?
we mental health yeah, are you talking about directing individuals to resources or having someone provide mental health nursing?
I think I think that's part of the design that you guys are gonna come up with, but it is a best practice that, parties to an incident are offered usually,
Referrals to,
some types of
Resources.
resources.
okay, and then not.
Paid by the organization or just a referral, or, so I don't know what, the town is gonna do. But what we can start looking into is having a pool of experts that can, become allies to that initiative. And so we have those resources in hand. Mhm. But how exactly and how much, we're not sure. That's something, I guess, eventually town will look into it. But we do identify the need that it has to be very focused on, prioritizing, it has to be very culturally competent.
Yes.
And with a specific lens on historically marginalized populations. We do have something, right, in town, but it's just not with that lens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the need will be there. I'm just thinking about, so for example, when we had that shelter open,
That's actually
when
where
there
I
were
was.
individuals from
Yes.
Haiti and other countries in that shelter, and many of them immigrated here with major problems, even just coming here. But was it all places? And because the top, the organization, it's more the Massachusetts Opportunity Council had to have those services.
Making opportunities count.
That one, yeah, had to have those services, the mental health services. So I'm wondering why it would be, I'm not saying why it would be DEI's charge to offer the referrals or in any system, housing, whatever, yeah.
I mean, I think that when there are members of the community that engage, that are here in our community, they live here, work here, or
Yes.
reside here, it is a community, it should be a community priority in terms of health access.
Yeah,
So whether it's like, whether it's the formal referral or if it's just access to resources, I feel
Okay.
like we should be a resource. We should be expanding our resource
Yes.
base for culturally competent care.
mhm.
But we have a Department of Public.
Public
Your
health,
question, public
yes.
health here,
Mhm.
shouldn't they just be adding that, or are we sort of the encourager of this?
So they do have some type of resource, right? I guess what we want is to make sure there is a lens in culturally
Okay.
competent. So, have people who actually, are trained in that as a resource. So we don't have to do it, but just make sure or recommend or collaborate and support.
With
Whoever is
agencies
doing
or
it.
So
with agencies.
So this isn't necessarily a funding request. This is.
No, it's
this-
a
not a
recommendation.
request.
Oh,
These are
These are
recommendations.
recommendations.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So as we know,
Yeah.
most of what we do is make recommendations to the town, right?
Yeah, I thought we were still talking about the funding
Mm,
or,
I
you know,
see.
through the, that's what I
Yeah,
thought we were,
me too.
yeah.
Yeah, well, depending on how it's executed, it's either gonna have funding or not. But, so I don't know if it's.
It should have
any
resources.
funding. It should.
It would require, you know.
Mhm. But maybe not.
I'm wondering, where, an organization in town like the Council on Aging would come in with that, because there are a lot of resources there. It's specifically towards, you know, older people, but
Mhm.
older people of all walks of life and, you know,
Right.
different cultures. So I think there, we already have that as a resource, so, I'm just looking at how do we incorporate that or what's already there, and we have really good council on aging in Concord.
And I think this is why we historically have proposed developing a DEI directory of resources. Which, you know, we had proposed would be a really great resource. I don't think that was ever completed, but you know, that was something that we were trying to develop as a resource for the town and community.
Mhm. There was a town resource guide. I think the last published might be 2022. And Magnolia, you aware of that?
I think it was early this year.
Early this
think
year, there's a
there's-
one,
yeah.
another version? I know there's one two thousand
Let me see if I can
seventeen,
find
and
it.
another one is 2022.
It's
But
a
that's
50
spread every couple years, the
Sorry.
town, yeah.
So, and I think there's some, as we're all identifying, there's some opportunities to further strengthen that. So that's what we're really looking to broaden and build on.
The greatest show.
Are we?
We are
okay.
almost done.
Okay.
Actually, Ryan put together an event support form. We would like to allocate resources for proposed community projects that align with our strategic priorities and also community needs. So Ryan had a great idea and initiative. He actually built an event support form that we've shared in the last couple of weeks, not much longer, but just the last couple of weeks to organizations who have sent us, you know, like a request. So they are being considered and we are coming up with criteria to be able to support these events. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Brian? The criteria?
Are you talking about the form? Yeah,
The form and the criteria, I think we can make it available online.
yeah, I think it'd be great to have online. So the last meeting we had for the DEI Commission, we talked about creating a form that could be sort of an intake from the community and from ourselves to create a more strategic plan for the calendar year, the upcoming calendar year, and also how to allocate resources. So it would give us a glimpse into what the community demands are and interests are. And then we could prioritize those and recommend. So we shared that internally sort of as just a, you know, little experiment. There was no collaboration or coordination amongst us and, you know, as a group. They were just submitted, and then I think you pulled from those for this exercise with Mark and Rose as well. So basically I don't have it in front of me, but the idea here is that for the community, they should have input in this. We should post it, and anyone who comes to us asking for support, whether it's marketing, whether it's social support, whether it's, you know, actual funding and financial support, they should get this form. They should be pointed to it, handed, you know, sent it deliberately, more intentionally, and be able to fill that out with as much as they can. We will then prioritize it based on what they submit. So we'll look at impact of the event, how many. We had one from for the Lunar New Year. It looks like something that, you know, occurs at the school with students, has about 700 participants. It's a low cost request. So when we look at that, we could prioritize those types of events or what we do. But the most important things are that, and I think Joe started mentioning this, you know, incidentally earlier, is that, you know, the community event, these events should be community driven. There should be fewer events and I'm not saying I know how many we actually do as a commission, but events that are created by us, run by us as a commission, that there needs to be a groundswell of support for certain initiatives and events and interest groups that are going to manage the work. And they just have to demonstrate that. They have to demonstrate what kind of budget they may or may not have and how much support they need. Do they have a marketing plan, or are they relying solely on us to do it, or the town properties do that? So really, it's just an opportunity for people to contribute their ideas, their requests, and then we can filter out the ones we can support based on what they're requesting and how much funds are available to us, or point them in the right direction. There are opportunities then, because it does ask what other groups are you collaborating with, we can point them into the direction of like-minded organizations. Maybe they want to collaborate together, but it is an automatic feed from the Google form into a spreadsheet, and then it could be made, available on request. But we would do the recommendations here, maybe quarterly or as they come in.
So far, on the ones we've received, I would like to list them real quick. The Lunar New Year Festival, to promote awareness of this cultural celebration among Asian communities and encourage people of all backgrounds to celebrate together. The CCHS Far East Association Club and the World Language Department have successfully organized two Lunar New Year festivals, and apparently they've become bigger, bigger, and more popular. So this is one that I would love to support. We also have a request, Town of Concord, CCAA, and others for a commission Concord style menorah. Commission public menorah celebrating Jewish heritage and combating anti-Semitism through community gathering and cultural celebration. And we have another event right here, which is new, and this is actually also very, very cool. DEI Commission, Town of Concord, bringing government to Boston. Medco families and students have a significant stake in Concord's community. And while they live elsewhere, their voices should be heard in helping to shape their experiences in Concord. Beyond just the school system, the goal is to bring a joint Town of Concord and DEI Commission listening session to Boston, partnering with the Medco program to create an accessible space where families can share their thoughts, concerns, and experiences without the barrier of traveling to Concord.
Nice.
So nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Any thoughts related to anything on the day I just said before we move? And I want to honor folks' time who both signed online and have also joined us in the room as it related to anything we just discussed. So I did want to open up public comment now, and we can also hold public comment at the end because we do have a full agenda. But because I know there was some public comment interest, and there's also folks in the room who want to participate, I wanted to just move to open public comment now as well as at the end.
May I just make one comment though?
Yeah.
So we've talked about a lot of really good stuff. We've talked about resources and people. We've talked about funding opportunities. Now, the funding opportunity that we see before us is largely from the American Rescue Plan, the remaining COVID funds, which have to be spent by the end of 2026. So I think whatever we consider putting into place should be events that may not need sponsorship in the future into calendar year 2027. I don't know if we should say fiscal year or calendar, but because we don't want to overcommit again and then not have funding to continue events. So as we continue to talk through, we should be able to identify what we have, we don't have, what commitment we have from the town, and if there'll be a budget allocation in the future to support ongoing things that they seem to like, right? So we shouldn't just start and then cut off services. Stop. Anyway, that's it.
I'd like to add one point. I kind of want to circle back, those different events that the commission is already supporting, and over the years, whether it's Conquer Safe or election forum or Pride and Juneteenth. And in the past, the DEI Commission has supported the Race Amity Day in the community. And so it's also a growing event. A couple of years we participated with Concord Public School. And the last year we collaborated, the planning committee collaborated with the Robbins House. So, and I was I'll be on the planning committee as well. So every time I share this information with the commission. And I'll always get support from the team here. So I wonder if we can continue to keep supporting whether I'm on the planning committee or not, because I think that's another initiative in town, very much in line with the charge of the commission.
I'm gonna send you the link to the form.
Mhm.
Because I know what you're talking about, and we just didn't have it, in the, we didn't have it in the
Yeah, I
form,
missed
so
it,
I didn't-
exactly.
yes, I
I
just
know
sent
it
it to you.
has been,
and
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you.
Any other comments before we move to public comment? I know, again, Michael, I saw that you wanted to say something, so we can just move to public comment and Mike.
Just briefly, when you touched on the Robbins on Juneteenth, to note that Robbins House had partnered with us as well for that. That's the only thing I wanted to bring up.
Thank you. Leonard, I know you had something to share as well.
Cool.
Yvette, I thought she wanted to.
Oh, yes. She was here earlier.
She is, she's muted.
No, I don't see her now.
Oh, yeah, I was talking, but I was muted. Yeah, thank you for calling me. And great, it's my time to talk. I attended this meeting because the Chinese teacher of CCHS, Ms. Agnes Han invited me. She has been a wonderful organizer to make the Lunar New Year celebration possible in the last 2 years. And my name is Yvette Fan. I'm the president of the Concord Carlisle Chinese Club. The abbreviation of this organization is C4 because we are CCCC. And the C4 is a basic is their the Chinese community of these two towns. And in the last 2 years of celebration, and we had teams of Concord residents to make dumplings live at the celebration in the CCHS building cafeteria, about like 400 and 500 each time. And we wrap the dumplings there on site, and then we cook there on site, boil them. And so it's like fresh and hot for the visitors to our booth. It's very honored, and the people loved it. And we really hope that the celebration could keep on going. According to Ms. Han, that she really needs support. I'm actually I don't have the knowledge like what kind of support the DEI Commission could provide. So any kind of support you could provide will be very much appreciated. And at C4, all the residents of the Chinese community are ready to support as well. So we look forward to working together with you to make the celebration, the festival, keep on going year after year after year. This is also a very great opportunity for the CCHS students to practice what they learned in their Chinese class, and also for those students and families who are not familiar with Chinese culture yet to, well, not just Chinese culture, but actually we call it a Lunar New Year because not only Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Japanese, there are quite a bunch of nationalities in Asia celebrate the Lunar New Year. So for many families around the towns to get this opportunity to learn about this culture and have fun, and there will be shows on the stage. Meanwhile, there will be like celebration in the cafeteria, many activities. culture activities besides food. So yeah, that's the one topic I would like to cover. And another topic, I don't know if you have any questions for me before I move on to a second topic.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and I wanted to give a comment when you were talking about the multilingual access for the community, because I could be a perfect resource for that. Because I have been running business for multilingual marketing for 18 years. So like my business make websites and flyers into more than 100 languages. My clients include like Mass General Brigham, Harvard, MIT, Boston University, and many national nonprofit organizations and also government agencies. If the town or the DEI commission has a limited budget, I would love to contribute some services for free or at a very low cost. I just want to help out. Yeah.
Thank you, Yvette.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Either online?
Say something.
Yes.
Yeah, I come over here to support the Lunar New Year event because in the past 3 years, my son and me support this event. We are very enjoying, and also this event is not just for the culture; it's put the community together, share the happiness, hope, and love. I think this is very important. And for the kids, for the students, they understand more other culture or other families celebration. I think is more experience when they make a choice or something. It's value. That's I'm coming over here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much.
coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
And also I live in Concord for more than 20 years. Yeah, all my kids, 2 kids is start kindergarten to high school.
Wow.
And the teacher Han, it's very hard work. I'm very appreciative.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
I like dumplings.
Yeah.
Would you like to share?
Is it February? Mrs. Pan, maybe you can tell us a little more. I think it's February 7th this year.
Yeah, we scheduled Saturday. It's the third year. We always schedule 2 weeks before the February break because we know the weekend before the February break, everybody take
Yeah.
off, ready to take off. So it's been the third year and it's really, it's honor for me, like this time the school asked me, what's the date for next year? I thought
Yeah,
about it.
it was so popular. The theater was full, the cafeteria was full. It's like
Yeah.
several hundred of
Yeah.
people there
I was
each year
debating,
since first year. Yeah, people
Yeah.
loved it.
Okay, so, yeah, and then students start talking about that before I think about it. So I was like, okay, that's a sign to move on, but where's the money? Okay, and we want to keep it on weekends so the community people can join. In the very first year before we started, and there is a option, like for us, I said, can we keep it on Friday? So all the staff member can come in and faculty. But my students say, no, we want to invite our neighbors. We want to invite our parents. So that's being a tradition, schedule on weekends.
Were you there since the inception? of this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
We
we
are
are
just,
here.
yeah.
Make food and
it's wonderful.
put some
This is
traditional stuff on the wall and they have performers also.
Oh, very much.
So
Yeah.
I think many commission members were fortunate enough to
Yeah.
attend, and
Amazing.
I have to
Yeah.
say, it was a
First one.
remarkable
Yeah.
experience
Amazing.
for all of us, and I know that it's something that has been a model for many other community groups, so I just really want to thank you for all of the heart and effort you bring to this, because
Yeah,
it's
thank you.
really evident, and it's been, I think, our community has a great sense of pride in the work that you all are doing, so thank you.
Thank you.
sounds great.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Yes.
We have Evan. Okay.
Hi, so I'm I would like to, I'm here to also support the Lunar New Year event. I'm currently a senior at CCHS in the class 2026. And I would like this, yeah, for this support, this event and ask that the DEIB community would financially support us. I think it's such a great event and it's actually makes significant impact on those in the Asian American community in Concord. More importantly, I think this also provides Miss Han is an excellent teacher because in this event she helps really develop leadership skills in her students. Because to do something of this magnitude, it's not really just her or the parents behind the scenes, but it's really her students who are taking Chinese at CC and also friends of those taking Chinese. And I think supporting this event is so important to developing the students at CCHS because it's more than just learning Chinese or learning whatever content in school, but also being able to take that knowledge and communicate with other people to lead something. And I think that's a skill that carries on past high school, which I think makes this event especially unique because while there are other cultural celebrations, this one is especially student centered and really great chance for students to develop their communication and leadership skills. So I would just like to vouch for Ms. Han on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you so much, Evan. Thank you for being here.
Melinda?
I'm sorry, my camera isn't on, but I'm a parent of a senior who's in Miss Han's class as well. And I just wanted to say, we're a Jewish family. So the Lunar New Year celebration was wonderful, really, because more than anything for us, it was a moment when Concord, it was really sort of unusual. Concord had faces that didn't look like most of Concord did. I think it was so important for the larger community, really for the larger community to come into Concord and see Concord look diverse. And it felt more welcoming even for us as a Jewish family, because we were for once in a celebration that felt like it was about different cultures and different people. So I would just want to plug that it's important, much more.
Thank you so much.
Truly a wonderful event.
Thank you so much. And we love all the representation and the engagement and like the huge support coming out. And I have to say, having been there with my family, I was so amazed at the intergenerational involvement that was so powerful. And I think our community is richer because of your collective work. So thank you so much.
Just a question for clarification, Ms. Han. So Yvette mentioned C4, so that's the student group, right? And then in the organization is Far East Association, sorry.
The Far East the student club.
Far East.
It's like a South
It's like an affinity group.
Yeah, our club, and the C4 is the community, like resident adults.
Oh, gotcha.
Adults.
Gotcha.
For Concord Carlisle Chinese Club.
Perfect, gotcha. I wasn't sure if that was the student doing. Thank you.
Forces.
Okay. So before we move to our other, your next item, so I would like to, move. I would like to, vote on approving the requested budget for this particular event.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor, yes.
Aye. Okay, so that brings us to our next agenda item, which is leadership changes. As we just discussed briefly earlier, we received an email on November 6th, which indicated a change in our select board liaison from Paul Bowen to Mark Howell. So I think by now all commission members are aware of that. I understand there's also going to be another change as it relates to our clerk.
Yes, I would like to thank G. Orloff for her work as clerk for these many years. How many years? And welcome Brian. I would like to nominate Brian as Brian Farber as our new clerk.
Is there a second?
Do I have a
Thank
second?
you, Brian.
Yeah, you seconding that?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, congratulations and welcome.
Don't
welcome.
congratulate me. Doesn't sound like a congratulatory party. It sounds like.
And that brings us to our next agenda item. We're still early in the agenda for
Oh
those
my
who are
God.
hanging in there, you are welcome to. For those who have other things going on, we understand. So it brings us to our updated commission charge, Andrea.
Yes, so I would like to just give you an update on how that's doing. I would like to tell you a little bit about the scope of our research. We reviewed all 351 municipalities in Massachusetts. Just to see what other towns and cities in Massachusetts are doing regarding the DEI charge and how they include and articulate anti-Semitism language. So of the 351 municipalities, we identified 104 of them that actually have DEI bodies. I call them DEI bodies because they vary. Some are human rights commissions, and they take care, they don't have a distinct DEI one, but they do all the DEI work. Some are actual DEI directors or managers. So the 351, 104 have DEI bodies that do this type of work. Of those 104, we obtained and analyzed their DEI related documents, charges, policies, ordinances. And we found that 66 of the 104 have like a DEI related charge or ordinance. And we read all of them to see how they address anti-Semitism. Of the 66, none of these include the specific term of anti-Semitism. And in their committee charges or governance policies. They do, though, 66 of them do mention religious discrimination broadly. But anti-Semitism is not explicitly named. There is one town, which is Bedford. Bedford is the only municipality whose Human Rights Commission ordinance explicitly addresses anti-Semitic hate through specific provisions in the language, including examples of hate as Nazi swastikas as a hate symbol, or include in one of the sections synagogue as a protected religious institution and comprehensive bias crime provisions with enforcement mechanisms. So I think that was great to learn how other towns and cities are actually addressing this. So Concord is actually, like one of the, or if not the leading town to include for the first time this type of language. I do want to say that several towns, including Acton, Wellesley, and Wayland, have issued public statements or proclamations condemning anti-Semitism in response to incidents. Concord did too. But these are not codified into their formal DEI committee charges or governance policies. And of course, our recommendation for Concord is to include this language. So we have we've included some of the language, and it's ready to be shared. We didn't before the commission because it wasn't ready. This is something that we developed like in the last days, just integrated the last pieces of it. So what we would like to do is share it. I'm just not sure where. I guess maybe on our website or on our survey form, so that people can give us feedback on this new version. And we will also share it with specific community groups. And when we integrate that feedback, then we'll have a formal proposal for the select board.
Do we have a timeline on that?
I think we can do it by December, one of the select board meetings in December. I'm not sure how many there are, but hopefully they'll have one by December.
Okay. The schedule gets kind of heavy, getting ready for
Holidays?
the deadlines for, things put into the town meeting.
Yeah. That's my update.
So are we gonna first share, so you're gonna share it with the
I
commission?
will share with the commission and then with the public, and then we will have, I can't remember what date we discussed.
So do we need
The
to,
next meeting is December.
Third.
The next select board meeting is December.
so then, and then you're gonna post the
Eight.
draft, you're gonna post the draft,
We will do that in the next few days.
okay.
And then like before the end of the week, and then we'll have until December, I think, second, no, we'll just close the feedback.
And then
By
which means
December
there's anything
2nd.
we need to approve as a commissioner before that, like, do we have to approve the draft or like, is that a logistical question?
It's just that draft.
So
I
it's
think,
okay,
I
we'll
think
just
what
post it.
we need to vote on is what we're gonna.
Okay,
Send to,
Recommend to the select board, and we can do that on the 3rd of December.
okay.
so how about have, I don't know how the input from the community or ourselves gets incorporated, who does that? Just I'm not familiar with that process, but if we have it all in by the first, turn around to present to the commission for the December third, and then we can approve or disapprove, recommending selling it, sending it to
The select board.
the select board for their meeting on the eighth.
Yeah, so we can aim for the
Let's see it.
30.
Well, the select board has two December meetings right now that's posted December 8th and 22. So if you get it approved on the December 3 meeting, then we can have it probably added to the December 22 meeting.
When did they get?
And I think in terms of feedback, once you post it on the website, then people they'll say to respond to the DEI email. That all goes to the chairs. They can integrate any of that feedback. Our feedback goes to the chairs. And then they clean it up, and that's what they bring to us on the 3rd, I think.
On the 3rd.
Yeah.
What's the deadline for the warrant articles? That's why they get so
For
busy.
that, to put in the agendas on the 15th.
For the warrant articles.
Yeah, that's when they.
That's what he was
Really
asking.
busy.
Okay.
That's January, yeah.
Oh, that's January for the warrant.
Warrant
Yeah,
articles, is what he was asking.
Yeah.
Is that December 15th?
No,
No,
January.
this is just for the agenda.
Do we have a date for that?
For the
Because I know
warrant,
there's
no,
some
I don't have.
interested, there's some interest in warrant articles.
Yeah,
I think it's January something. It's on the website. That's how.
it's usually.
I know we can,
January.
might be giving us a date on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's so that then we can close on the updated commission charge. Next we are moving to Brian with our Concord Safe campaign update.
So a similar update to last time, still moving forward with it. It looks pretty good so far. Met with Jessica Porter 2 weeks ago, I believe, around the time of, I think it was Magnolia's birthday, your birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what this-
and Veterans Day. Everything seems to be working well. We've decided to go with the less expensive route, which I think is prudent. Which is the town will host a site. We're just gonna figure out the slug. The slug is everything that comes after the slash of, .gov/ and then what goes there to make it easy to remember. It'd be Concord Safe, but there's this little hitch in the middle. There's this number directory, which they said they could remove. They just have to figure out how to do that to make it easy and safe. There is a domain that is registered privately, concordsafe.org, that it can be transferred over to the town. And that could actually be what is registered on all of our documentation. So it's, remember, again, an easy brand, concordsafe.org, and it would just redirect to the town property. So there's no domain management, no
Right.
domain ownership.
Mm.
So almost it wound up being like 20-something bucks a year to just host. So it's actually pretty good for taxpayers. The site would be built internally by the town. I think Magnolia is the person who builds them. Is that you? The websites, I don't know.
I'm
no.
not, I don't
Oh,
develop and create the website, but I can.
During that meeting, your name was dropped 11 times, so not like you were doing everything. Looks like we have enough resources to get everything done. So the idea is, once we get that site, the address done, then while it's being developed, we can order everything once we have that QR code. That's really what we need to move forward. We do have to reach out to the Chamber of Commerce still to make that contact with them. We talked about them a lot in these meetings. Haven't really reached out to them yet. Just want to make sure we're all set with everything. This is a really easy lift for them, I believe, and I think that's the sell. It's just doing something good, putting it in the window. There's nothing they need to do besides that, except looking like we are a community of one. So I think that's sort of the pitch there. The second thing is then the communications plan. This is obviously a locally driven initiative. I think so it would be the Concord, Bridge and maybe some other local, groups. But this is something where I feel like we could really leverage Minuteman Media Network. I think they're the kind of folks that love doing sort of videos and social clips, so we can get students involved. We can get other people in the community, ourselves, to make a quick little pitch about these, see it, say it, I don't know, whatever the slogans are. I'm working on those. And that's going to be about it. And I think we can try to broaden this to the larger Boston area press, just to say we're doing something great. I think we've gotten over the summer a little bad rap as a town. I think, let's be fair, it's been a tough summer, but I think we're doing some good here, and people should see it. And I think there's a lot of momentum around the community for this kind of thing. So I'll be developing that more fully over time, but once I get the okay on the site, then we can get everything ordered. And again, we're using Priscilla Burgess from Waterman Designs she's the one who did the logo for Concord 250. She's doing the logos for these.
Great, thank you, Brian.
Sure.
Any questions or comments?
Should you pro bono or?
No, this was part of the initial budget. It's nominal. She's done a lot of pro bono work for this town, and so this is just a few bucks, yeah. And then we'll also be doing outreach to a lot of organizations around the community, not just communicating it to press, but it's going to be interfaith leaders, religious leaders, in and around our community, MECO, others, as many as we can possibly find.
Thank you, Brian. So next, we're moving to agenda item number 7, an update on the bias and hate incident reporting work group, Heidi.
So yeah, we have like 2 minutes, I guess, yeah. So I will, it's 5:30.
What's up? I mean, go ahead.
Okay, all right. We're also meeting this evening, so
that's why you gotta hustle. Okay, that's why you gotta run.
yeah.
Thanks for meeting.
And I'll stay here.
Are they meeting?
Yeah, we're meeting here.
Yeah, keep going, yeah.
All right, someone is an bite. No, I'm kidding. So we planted the seed, it's in the soil. Selected leadership, Paul is going to be the chair of the whatever it's called. Yeah, work group, and talk about the charge. The charge will be really to develop a reporting system that is safe, accessible, confidential, and legally sound. How about that? So we talked about who the customer will be, and that is still is transition in the working group. We shall be working on consulting with the town council regarding confidentiality parameters and legal protections. There's going to be a research of what other towns are doing in terms of hate-based and incident reporting systems, and hopefully down the road we'll divide ourselves up and see who is going to do what. Then there will be some community outreach and engagement. It might be in the form of public forums or focus groups, taking ourselves out there in the community. Resources are to be determined. There will be 2 meetings a month. It's a lot. 2 meetings a month, and yes, we will tap into research that has been done to identify definitions that has been done by states, universities, or public or education institutes, and as well as collaborate with our private schools in town, which seem to have some kind of work that they do. So that's it, as well as the CCHS, the public health, they have a incident reporting system. They have a very good developed plaque that they distributed during that meeting. I don't have it with me, but it's how can we draw from examples there? They're very their information is very protected, given that they are dealing with minors, but will be dealing with information, developing a system that will draw from a wide array of citizens or customers, as we call them in this group. So that's it, and we're meeting this in 30 minutes.
Is it in
Oh,
this
wow.
space?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that's when our clock runs out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Agnes.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're glad you're on.
Important work.
Next, if you need anything from any of us at any time. you
Oh,
just-
sure, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Are you willing
Please.
to host? Yeah. No, okay, yeah,
you know.
yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you.
And also, I do think because the DEI commission did do some work on a reporting system, and Andrea, that's what she does for work. Make sure your work group knows they can call on
Yes.
that and also her expertise if she's available, because that's, you know, you are a professional in this
Yes.
topic area.
It's
Yeah.
also been like, obviously, an incredible amount of work that everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to call on you, but I think you had left around, we ran out of time to find out. I think it was because you were present and then you left, yeah. But I think, yeah, you will. And I think for me, like the Concord Safe link is something that we should be able to borrow and learn from instead of duplicating things. We talked about, of course, reviewing and doing an assessment of what is in existence so that we don't duplicate
Makes sense.
stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that. The whole idea of the Concord Safe brand
Yeah.
was just to
Temporary.
create this moment in time that everything can just slide into, and it's remembered, it's built into the, you know,
Yep.
fabric of who we are. But this is the time if the group decides that concordsafe.org is not what they want to do. Concord for all or whatever, now's the time to change that, because that could still be changed.
I don't know if this, may I make a comment about in bias? I assume, I only was able to come to part of the meeting. I assume you guys have a broad range of isms that you're gonna be thinking about. And I just want to be aware, you know, we often talk about, or we don't talk about ageism. And we've seen some real concrete examples of ageism in sort of the public discourse in the town in the last few weeks. So I'm just sort of calling it out publicly at our DI commission, that we gotta be aware that that is also, there were comments made at meetings or letters to the paper about the senior citizens who do thus and so, or older residents who do thus and so. And we have to remember, if you had took those words out and it said, Indian people thus and so, or gay people thus and so, or black people thus and so, we would really notice it. And sometimes I think ageism is something that we don't always recognize, but certainly the folks in our community do. So there's definitely pushback and people are writing letters back saying that. I don't think we have to do anything. I just want to put it out there that we need to be aware that ageism is something we have to be careful, especially I think it's about 35% or more of the Concord community are people over 65, and that certainly was reflected in the data when we did the survey. I'm just calling it out publicly, so keep it on our radar.
And ability too.
Yeah.
Yeah, ability is a big time, yeah. I mean, mobile ability.
Right, mobility.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, there has been some outreach. I know I had a couple of meetings with individuals. We were talking about accessibility, you know, around West Concord Center. You know, about how it could be improved. And I said, well, yeah, the best way to improve it is to level everything and start over. Because it's so congested there and people have a hard time. So
I don't think anyone would say, I think most people wouldn't say a bunch of differently abled people are complaining about X, they would know not to say that. They would know not to say, you know, a bunch of trans people came to a meeting and complained about that. But for some reason, it seemed like it was okay in Concord to say a bunch of older people came and did the, I mean, like where was the filter on that? So,
In the volume at one time.
yeah, and it was a lot.
Yeah. I think it was those.
Okay, but I think the older people in town will respond because, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for raising that.
yeah, yes,
for
thank
sure.
you. Okay.
So that brings us to agenda number 8, Youth Advisory Board
I think we
update.
did that already
did that.
during the update.
And we have gotten a lot of engagement both from caregivers in the community as well as youth since this has been hitting our agenda for a lot of interest and inquiry about it. So as it you know, is further solidified, we look forward to sharing updates. So number 9 is upcoming DEI related planning and announcements and activities. Do you wanna?
Sure, I'll do the first two fast. The Council of Aging and their director, Dan Pettit, received a grant this year to host LGBT social events every month. And they're really open to anyone in the town who either identifies as an LGBT person over 50 or their friends or their families. So it's really open to everybody. And they had the first one in October. It was quite amazing. And the next one is this Thursday night, and it's over at the COA, and they're gonna have jazz music and they have food. And you meet people. I'll just be there are people who only in the last year, because of both the work of Concord Pride and the work that Dan has been doing, that now feel comfortable going to a social event and talking about their stories. And at our Pride meeting last week, folks from the school, Andrew from the school district was there talking about planning to do some ways to do intergenerational work. So it's a fun Thursday night. It's the last Thursday of every month. You should come by as a DI commission member and just stop by. It's really fun and you will not forget. Good time to have. Human Rights Council, they do a tea every year. Just be aware, it's on the 23rd. Just for history, Human Rights Council has been around since I think 1978, when we had a particularly difficult year in Concord around racism and hate and some horrible violence in the town. Their history grew out of that and they're still here. And so it's a good way to honor both their work and the group they're honoring this year.
Yeah. So for this particular tea, it's award giving ceremony. So they are offering award to one of the nonprofit. I don't think it's called Second Chance Car. Some of you may know. So each year they recognize a community organization and honor them for the service they have contributed. Yeah, and plus in Chinese tea.
Yes.
Asian tea doesn't have to be all China. Asian.
Great.
So last one is our AHA community coffee, which will take place at the after our meeting.
Our meeting will be at 11 a.m. on December 3rd at Concord Public Library in the Goodwin Forum. Correct? That's the same location. And then at 1 p.m. Our community sponsored coffee, thanks to the police, will be from 1 to 3. In terms of themes for our coffee, in terms of what is brewing on our hearts and minds and what is happening in the community right now, I wanted to just, you know, open it up to the commission for possible themes for this coffee. Usually our December ones are kind of like a little bit more people are wearing like holiday wear and holiday colors and kind of, but given everything that's happening, there's so much going on around DEI. Would love to just open up the floor and see.
Well, I have an idea. So it's a Wednesday, it appears. That's a half day for the Concord Carlisle schools. We've been talking about engagement with students. You mentioned it. We just had something really great. Can we make it sort of a Concord schools mingle?
Then I would like to request, if we're gonna make
No,
it
that would
kid
be
friendly,
so
then we
easy
have to
to
request from the town to include some cookies for the kids. Because if we're gonna be serving coffee, and I feel like we should have some
Hot chocolate and
like hot chocolate, like
right.
we need hot chocolate
Cider.
cookies.
Because I just met Kelly
Hersheen,
yeah, from who's managing the
yes, you?
JSU. I just saw her at a meeting. there's a lot of interest and activism happening.
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if the school administrators want to swing over and be a part of it, if they want to engage, I think that's a great opportunity.
So I think.
Just a thought.
I
And
think
I
we
think
need,
a topic was, might be, advocacy. Because I'm just gonna suggest this,
Mhm.
we have in part of our mission that we're supposed to advocate for
Mhm.
systemic change. And a lot of the work we do is advocating for systemic change, but that also causes a lot of, some of the hardest thing to do, right? When you're being an advocate, so maybe a conversation in small group with adults and younger people, what does it mean to be an advocate? And what does advocating for systemic change look like? Yeah, an ally, yeah. So that's just one possible topic. I'm sure there's many others.
No, I think that's great. I really love where we're going with this. But so I think Magnolia, what we're hearing is we need hot chocolate and cookies to invite the youth in town.
Yeah,
So we would
that would
definitely
be
be
great.
looking to you to help make that happen if we're gonna do that.
And we
Sure.
can engage with the schools and have
Yeah, we can invite them.
invite.
Yeah, invite and
like
actually
an
host
invitation.
the district-wide calendar and all the communications to invite the students and families. So I think then we would be expecting a larger crowd than usual. So I think we could definitely, you know, we appreciate the police covering our coffee, but if then the town can cover our cookies and hot chocolate for the kids, I think that would be. welcome.
Or you can ask the police to contribute.
Yeah.
Hot chocolate instead of coffee, or in addition to.
Yeah.
I think that would be, yeah.
They certainly ask. Okay, but they do a lot for us too.
Well,
So.
Okay. Should we? So the future meeting dates, we did post, so the
Mhm.
next one is in December 3rd,
Mhm.
and then we
11th.
did post one for Wednesday, January 7th. Which can be virtual, just to make, it's at the beginning of the year and, you know, in case people are not back yet.
Yeah.
That one can be virtual.
Evening. Virtual, right? Cause
Okay.
the other one's during the day.
Yeah. We're trying to.
So
alternate.
let's, if we can collectively just identify a time, does, 6 or 7, or should we do a time like this where we're doing, 4 p.m. again?
4 p.m. will work
yeah,
better.
it's hard for me.
Oh,
Yeah, how about,
Yeah,
what-
it is hard for me, yeah.
how
'Cause
about 5 or 6 better?
Yeah, you definitely.
5 or 6.
okay,
During
is it
traffic.
4:30?
No, this is gonna
6
be virtual.
o'clock, yeah.
Oh, virtual.
Oh, virtual. okay.
Yeah, if it's virtual, yeah.
Virtual.
5
Even
o'clock.
then, yeah, because virtual would be probably driving, which isn't safe to do a meeting while you're driving,
Oh.
4 o'clock, yeah. Yeah, 6, so 5:30,
Yeah, it's just
5:30,
Let's just
6.
say-
Yeah,
Okay.
6
If
p.m.
you
or
wanna
later.
avoid the traffic now, you've got to start at 3 o'clock. It's getting like friends I have down the Cape. There are hours where you just don't go out.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have control of.
I know.
So then, okay, so then 6 p.m. on January 7th, and then we will move to our final public comment.
Yes.
Do we have any public
Kristen.
comment?
this one's just-
Go ahead, Kristen.
She's not, she.
Can you ask her to unmute?
I didn't bring it up. Yes. Mhm.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. I'm in the car and I just pulled over, so I couldn't figure out how to unmute. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for doing Zoom and having this not at noon on a work day. I love attending your meetings and I think listening to all these great things you guys are doing. I love it. I was thinking that one of my comments originally in the beginning when you guys started was that it was very much just focused on race. And while race is obviously really important, I love that you guys are now discussing religion and ageism and all these other great groups that also matter, ableism and all these great things. And I feel like attending this meeting was just so organized and informative, and I love hearing all the work you're doing and also about the events because I would like to attend some of them. I do know about the high school ones, but it's good to know about more. I have 2 comments or questions. The first one is just what Joe mentioned about the ageism in the letters. I actually wrote a letter to the paper, as did a bunch of other people. And I just wanted to clarify that those comments were not meant to be against older people. They were meant to be toward people who do not have children in the schools who were making horrible comments about what happens in our schools. So maybe most people happen to be older that make the derogatory or sort of negative connotations about the schools. So I think it's sort of being taken out of context. And I do agree that obviously you wouldn't say certain things like the Black people or the Indian people or whatever. I don't think, at least from my perspective, I shouldn't speak for other people, but the comment was about how there are all these racist and horrible things that are rampant in the schools. And I think when you don't have a child in the school, you just don't know what's going on. So it was not meant to be ageist. It just so happens that the same people that get up every meeting and speak are older people, and probably could have been worded differently to say those people without children in the schools. And it also was not, I have also heard a comment that these people feel that they've been called not stakeholders. That's actually not the issue either. It's just that they're never at the community events related to the schools or in the schools. And when you paint our schools as being these horrible places, it's just simply not true. And I think that's what most of the letters were. But my second question is, and maybe this is at an upcoming meeting, but one of the items on the agenda was about the reporting system. And I would love to have some more details about how that's going to be implemented, how it's going to work. I'm actually a lawyer, and hearing this scares me to death. I envision lots of lawsuits, and I don't understand how, if I hear something I don't like in a store, what do I do? If it's horrific, I'll call the police, obviously. But I don't understand. And maybe if it's going to be discussed at a future meeting, that's totally great. I would love to hear it. I'm sort of in favor of restorative justice. And for me personally, some of the incidents that have occurred in the schools, I don't understand why we can't get the offender and the victim together, because I think, especially for children, and I know we can't sometimes, but having a face-to-face conversation and understanding the effect your words or actions had on someone is more effective than having your name on a list in the town somewhere published. So that's all. My question is, how is it going to be implemented, and do we have details on that yet? Thank you.
Kristen, do you wish to share your full name and address?
Sure. It's Kristen Martinez. I'm just curious why am I the only one that's been asked that? Not that I care. I'm just curious. It's Kristen Martinez.
We know the other people who are regular attendees. I just didn't know.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
And there's people in the room who've already shared that. So I don't know
sure.
who Kristen's iPhone is, but if you wish
no
to decline, if you wish,
no, not at all. Kristen Martinez, 66 Alfred Circle. Not a problem. I was just curious.
Sure. Thank you. And just to note, I believe this bias and hate incident reporting work group was actually meeting. Aggie, can you right now? Actually,
yeah, meeting at
6
6 o'clock. So
yeah, so you're welcome to join that, right? Wouldn't you say, isn't that open to the community?
Yeah,
oh, it is? Okay, great. That's great. Thank you.
And we have a lawyer that's or someone with a legal background who is part of the group. So
awesome.
Wonderful. Great.
So I hope that's helpful. Any other public comment?
One more and then maybe two should.
Ed, feel free to come off of mute.
This is Ed Larner. I live at 167 Elsinore Street. I just wanted to say that Joe's comment about ageism, of course, is welcomed. I'm 81 years old, but I think Concord is it's an old town, and it's a good place to be an old person. And a lot of us older people are very involved in town, boards and so forth. And I think we pull our weight, and I appreciate the support and everything of the DEI people in recognizing that ageism is a problem, but it's special to be living here in Concord. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Any other public comment at this time? Kristen, you still have your hand up. Would you like to share anything?
Because she's great.
Even before,
Yeah, I think so.
that is the old one.
Oh, okay.
You should let the room get ready.
Okay, all right, so with that,
I make the move that we adjourn today's meeting.
Second.
all in favor?
All in favor.
Great, thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
for-
Rose, for facilitating.